Welcome back to another episode of Talk 21. I'm David Veeder, your host, and joining me today is obviously my co-host, Sam Genova.
Hi guys, how's everyone doing?
And we have a guest speaker and a dear friend, part of the group for a long time, Anthony Gillespie.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And today, our producer has asked us to be ready for what he calls rapid fire. We had a good time doing it the last time. We had some good results. Let's hear what you got for us, Stefano.
What is the most effective property pricing strategy for 2023?
Oh boy.
Put papers in a balloon and throw darts at it, whichever you hit first. No. You got to do the homework. And
Sure. Price accordingly.
Price accordingly. Layer all your customers' needs on top of that. Motivation, timing, what works for them, but you still got to do your homework. Yeah.
Sam, what's the most effective home staging tip that you can give?
Staging?
Staging.
Make sure it's decluttered.
Yeah, the clutter is well, for sure. Make sure there's not a lot of stuff in the way, and then
Less is more.
yeah, and then swap out stuff that's doesn't work, right?
You need a very simple base.
Yeah.
Clean up everything out of the way,
Yeah.
and clean.
I always say less is more, right? Let's make it look as big as possible. No comment.
Dave, this might not be your forte, but we're going to challenge you. Social media marketing for listings. What is the best thing we can do right now?
I mean, social media is like out there. Everybody's doing it. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not selling houses. I can guarantee you that. Like pricing and your negotiating skills are where you're going to get it sold. But to bring it in the forefront and to shed it in the right of lights, definitely you need to use social media.
And ready. Negotiating tactics in real estate. Now that all real estate agents have their own mentality on how things work, how do you negotiate with someone from another brokerage?
Again, I lay a roadmap up. If I know there's another interested party in one of my listings, I get a dialogue going, usually well in advance, and just try to have a conversation with that other realtor. Try to get inside their motivation, what they're looking for, and really just keeping things real. So having a foundation of knowledge on what that property is, and not really backing down from that.
Sam, emerging technologies in real estate. Do you feel that 3D scoping of the house is something that's a fad, or do you think it's actually a necessity?
I mean, not everybody's using it, but I think it's definitely a tool that helps people be able to get an overview of room sizes and where things can go. So sometimes in the past, people have booked appointments to figure out measurements and for a couch. But this way, when it's all laid out above, I feel like it's a good tool that helps the end user for sure.
Dave, tips for a successful open house.
We haven't done open house in a long time over COVID, but now with the open houses being back in action, the first thing is just basically have a registry. Make sure you know who's coming through the property for security purposes. Second of all is make sure that it's like bright and airy, which means turn on all the lights, and obviously be as welcoming as possible because you got to set the tone and set the expectations for hopefully a future sale.
And this is right in your area of expertise. Building and maintaining client relationships. What should people do in 2024?
Doing the old stuff is become doing the new stuff. So literally personally reaching out with a genuine interest to see how your existing client base, how they're doing, how is life. No motivation to sell or buy anything with them. Just really, are things going okay, right? And touching base. Yeah.
Sam, give your viewers some investment strategies and tips.
33 red.
Hold tight. Things hopefully will be changing in the next coming year.
Put it all on black.
Yeah.
Would you say that people should hold tight? And would that be something that people should think about going into 2024?
Well, I mean, we don't have the crystal ball, but they do say that rates are supposed to be coming down. I talked to a good friend yesterday about it, and he thinks it's going to actually come down sooner than anticipated. So, I mean, I know things may be tough right now, and you may be upside down on rents, but things are going to be coming around, and hopefully in 2024 we see
A little relief there.
yeah, and a more a positive market in that sense.
Dave, legal considerations in real estate transactions. Should you know what you're talking about, or should you not? Should you just leave it to like a lawyer?
Well, as a realtor, we're not going to be wearing all the hats, right? But to be a good agent or a good rep would mean to know a lot of facets of the whole transaction. So, I mean, you're not going to give a client legal advice, but you could definitely give them the information and then I would always refer out three different people within their sphere of what they're looking for. Even with home inspectors, we should know a lot about what the building envelope's like and what we should be aware of. But you should leave a professional to do those tasks. But at the same time, to be knowledgeable is a good thing. But you still got to rely on professionals within the segments that you're looking for services.
And do you think other brands such as Remax, Royal LePage, and all the other ones, do you think they're all at war with each other, or do we all work as a collective teamwork?
My personal opinion is, as an agent, you definitely want to be represented by a recognizable, reputable brand. Hence, that's a big reason why I'm with Century 21 and then the people. Every brand, though, will claim that they are the best. If you're going to be working with an agent, it comes down to the person you're working with. It really does. So, any brokerage or any brand will say that they have the most agents, the most experienced agent, but you ultimately end up working with the one person or a team, but it's a much micro version of that brand. So the brand has to be recognizable and reputable because you're going to be on the marketplace. So when you're exposed to the masses, you don't want to be ABC Realty. And if there is an ABC Realty out there, I apologize because I'm sure there is. So reputable brand, but then it's interview the people you're actually working with day to day that's going to do the transaction for you, their experience, their knowledge base, their competency, the network of professionals that they know. For example, what Dave was alluding to, it comes down to that smaller sphere.
Sam, navigating what the real estate agent's percentage is. Should you argue this with the other realtor, or should you discuss it privately in a setting with your own brokerage? Like, basically, it's a 5%. That's what the going rate is. Now, how do you come to terms with either decreasing your percentage or shifting it more so on the buyer or the seller agent? How would you do that?
Well, we never like to decrease our commission, but in times we have to make things happy, everybody happy. So sometimes, usually, what happens is when you take a listing, I mean, usually you always want to leave the 2.5% on the buying side, or else they may not want to show the property. So we always take, as a listing agent, we always kind of take the short end of the stick, right?
Yeah, if we need to, when we're listing and we want to, with the market being soft, we need to offer the 2.5%. So that's the bare minimum.
To the buying broker.
The second thing is the Competition Act is very clear. There's no industry standard, so we got to be mindful of the fact that everybody can negotiate the rate, right? So, Glippy,
Do we have 30 seconds for a quick anecdotal story?
Sure.
Around this? Sorry. Sam, do you remember Sam and I were at a listing presentation and we put together our package, and we were one of 6 teams that the seller was interviewing.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
We did our walkthrough, we did our thing list. Was very pleased to get the call the next day. The seller said, "We interviewed some top teams. You guys were great. We want you. But would you do it?" And I forget, this was a little while ago, but threw out a ridiculous number as far as what he was willing to pay for commission. But expected us the whole list of responsibilities that we would do to get the home ready, the staging, this, wanted us to do everything, but then threw out a number. He goes, "We want to use you guys. You guys were great, but for this amount." And I remember I broke down the math for him and I said, "I will have more money in my pocket if I took my family on vacation because it'll cost me less than what would be out, and in hard cost, not in time alone." Right.
Yeah.
So everything's to be a negotiation. And if you do a good enough job and show your value, and then the negotiations that you've earned them more because you're good at what you do and all that good stuff, I think the commission, you got to show value why you're charging that amount, whatever the amount is that it's agreed upon.
The value proposition's got to be tight.
100%.
Yeah, especially today.
Good. Last three questions of rapid fire, and we're going to start it off with Dave. Dave,
Yes.
how in the world do you balance work and personal life in this crazy real estate market?
Well, I mean, it's tough, but I'll be honest. Like these days, you know, we're more seasoned agents, so we can be more choosy. And like you know, you had an experience where somebody wanted you to do something for like again nothing that story you told us. So you got to choose. Maybe you don't have to take every listing if they're not real, and if they're not
Realistic.
motivated enough.
Yeah.
So you got to start assessing that, and or to be true to your clients. And but then we've been doing it for so long, so you just have a balance. Like I mean, you know, you wake up with a routine. You know that you have family is very important. You've got to be committed to the job and to life in general. And it's basically a life. If it's a lifestyle, real estate's a lifestyle. You're on
balance.
24/7, and you just got to shut it down. If you're going to be away, you know, there's nothing wrong with replying to somebody within an hour. We don't have to be on their beck and call 24/7 at that exact second, right?
And what's been life-saving for me is that the hours aren't set. It is 24/7, so you're not tied to a desk for 8 hours or have to be somewhere necessarily
Yep.
every day at the same time. So you can, when you get control of it, you can navigate and make your schedule work
Absolutely.
around family and clients. So
But
Now,
then
Sam, for you, this is the last question for you. Adapting to changes in the real estate market, how do you do it?
I mean, you kind of, being in the business, you start to see things kind of before they're happening, right? We all do it full time. This is our job. This is our career. You have to be able to shift mindset. Be what's the word? Be more cautious.
patient.
Yeah, cautious of also like your everyday lifestyle. Your spending. When you're used to a lifestyle before, when things were great and we're selling, everybody's happy, making money. Now that the market's changed, you kind of gotta adapt with the market and just be cautious, right? Be cautious.
And if you've got the last one, would you want to add to that? No. And if you've got the last one for this episode, and I think it's, again, your forte, looking over here at the audience, please tell us all, how do you do customer service the best?
regardless of the industry or business, everyone likes to tout that they have amazing customer service. Everybody will put it forward. To me, when I think of customer services, Sam was saying when everything's going great, everyone's happy. Customer service really kicks in when something doesn't go right. How do you handle it? You take ownership, you find solutions, workarounds. So there's times where you are literally scrambling to make things happen. Right. There's so many ways to get to a solution. And an unhappy client, what do you do when things go wrong? So step up, take responsibility, find solutions, right?
Thanks for having us here against us with Rapid Fire. We'll get a great episode. I want to thank you all for watching us today. I'm David Vitti from Century 21. And so you can find me at C21 Fine Living Realty. And Cole, Sam?
Yeah, thanks guys for the great episode. And again, we want to make a special thanks to Mr. Gillespie for joining us today. And Anth, where can you be found?
Well, I just want to say thank you to our hosts for inviting me here today. And for anyone interested, I'm at agfineliving.com.
Perfect. You can find myself at Sam General Real Estate.